Okay, folks, thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. We want to appreciate all of you for joining us. Thanks for joining in. We want you to kindly give us an update on the audio quality. Kindly let us know as to whether the audio quality is good enough for us to work with. Um, we want you to. Okay, so folks, thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. We are coming to you live from the grounds of the legislature, from the Liberian Senate to be precise. My name is Nelson Colette. As we speak, session will very shortly be starting as the tradition is here. There will be the official call to session. There will be the presentation of the message, the exhortation, the prayers, and thereafter there will be the official start of session. But the atmosphere is a bit different here today. Devotion has just started, but the atmosphere is a bit different here today. Well, one angle of the audio you're getting is live from the chambers of the Liberian Senate, and another angle of the audio is from in here. But what is different about the atmosphere today is that the Nimba County Senator elect, Senator Samuel Koga, will be officially inducted today at the Liberian Senate, transitioning from the House of Representatives to the Liberian Senate, from the lower house to the upper house. So there's a little bit of tight security protocol here. I want to take you downstairs a bit to give you an idea of what it is there. Let me take you down a little bit. As you see, um, there's a little bit of tight security here this morning, Senator. All right, so we want to take you down. A group of folks have come here to witness or to officially form part of the activities here on the grounds of the legislature. The vice president's convoy there. Unlike what we showed you on Tuesday, the atmosphere is a bit different in that you have vehicles belonging to senators are all parked outside here. A very good number of senators in there. Um, but on the flip side, you have a group of women. You have a group of women who are supportive of Honorable Samuel Koga that have uh, come on the grounds of the legislature here to witness to witness the induction or escort the senator as he's going to be finally transitioning today after certification and all of that from the from the House of Representatives to the Liberian Senate. So still up here, I'm going to take you closer to um, what the situation is here. The ground is calm. As you know, the last time we came to you live from here was just, it was about the 10th election here up Capitol Hill, but it's a bit different here today. It's a calm atmosphere. It's about celebration. Different groupings have come here up Capitol Hill. And you see another group here. This group is the Nimba Solidarity Group, saying congratulations to the senator-elect, Senator Samuel Koga, who's going to be transitioning from the House of Representatives to the Senate today. But we're going to move closer. Ahead of us there is the official vehicle of Speaker Richard Nangwe Kun, REP1, parked there. And you have a group of women chanting slogans, celebrating, chanting battle cries as they're here to witness the induction of Honorable Samuel Koga. So you see a lot of different activities here. You see the women here. Uh, we want to speak to a few of the women. Welcome to Spoon TV. Welcome to Spoon TV.
Who?
So why are you here this morning?
Is that
Why are you here? This is Spoon TV. Why are you here this morning?
I hear for my speaker paying the money.
Your speaker?
My speaker, United Party speaker.
So is it because of the speaker you celebrating?
But yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
my speaker is Rachel Kun. That was celebrating for.
Okay.
Because when you tell people for you can go and they score A.
So you celebrating for your speaker here this morning. Okay.
I got the
Thank
triple
you very much for talking to us. So there you have Honorable Samuel Koga now coming there. He's been escorted by the folks today. Of course, the Senator-elect is being escorted by the women here this morning. Honorable Koga, welcome to school. How do you feel transitioning today from the House of Representatives to the Senate? So the senator cannot speak now, but he's being escorted by different groupings, taking him to the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. The women are celebrating, the different groupings are celebrating the senator today as he's officially transitioning from the House of Representatives to the House of Representatives. There's a Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks for joining us. So we're still here. It's a very hot day from up Capitol Hill here. As you see, the women, the men, the youth, and the different groups are celebrating, welcoming Senator Samuel Koga to the House, to the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. There's a huge number of folks in there as well that are eager to know or to witness the event. Some of the folks have made their way into the chamber of the Senate and be inducted into office officially. That's exactly what it is. So you are going to see a transition here today from the House of Representatives. We're asked to stay out as the senator is now making his way for the first time as senator-elect of Nima County, making his way to the main chambers of the House of the Liberian Senate. And of course,
is open for discussion.
this is where we are. Can you let me go?
Senator Taylor.
Sometimes distinguished colleagues, on the agenda, I'd like to make this intervention is a meeting approval. The order of business on President's desk. B, C, D, and E precede B. C, D, and E, presentation of certificate of election. D, report from Senate Standing Committee on Rule Order. E, induction of Senator-elect Samuel G. Koga. Precede B, which is committee summary report by each chairperson to follow after the induction. And honor A or B, to get plenary approval to summon the Minister of Labor so that we can conclude on the work permit issue that have lingered before the Senate for the last 4 or 5 months. Honor A or B. I submit.
Thank you, Senator Taylor. Any other intervention? With that, Claire, can we get a motion to adopt the agenda? Without restating, are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? What happened? Just a second here. Where you're tired already? We're already proceeding. Well, that should have been flagged when the agenda was being read. So you're late with that intervention. Yeah. We should have flagged that when the agenda was being read, and we will have roll call. So senators are coming. We have quorum. Yeah.
So, Pro Tem, I didn't want to change or make a motion, but I think it's customary that the senator who is seated for any other one that's coming in receive that person. I see that Senator Ian Toya is not here. We want to do the induction at this point. Yeah. Should we continue, go ahead without the mechanism not being here?
Well, there's nothing in the rule that says.
No, I didn't say rule, I said customary. Yeah. I didn't say rule, I said customary.
We started at 11 o'clock, and Senator Yan Twine knew that we were starting session at 11 o'clock, and there will be an induction today.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
That's
should,
just my concern.
Lima County should be our host for the induction. So they should wait for us. Secretary of Senate, came out here, Bon County, look for everybody here to receive Lima. We sent for the vice president to be here. Not now. Secretary of Senate, what's on the agenda? What next? The induction? So according to intervention, we have the induction next. Huh? Next on the agenda is what? Huh? So go ahead. Go ahead.
Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nomination, pending Senate confirmation, where applicable for appointment in government. The Minister of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Vani M. Sharif, Assistant Minister for Administration. The Liberia Intellectual Property Office, Ms. Jamus Pinky Banner, Deputy Director General for Industrial Property. I would greatly appreciate if these are given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Nimon Barkat Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. The first communication. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nomination, pending Senate confirmation, where applicable for appointment in government. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. George S. W. Martin Sr., Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Republic of South Africa. I would greatly appreciate if this is given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Barker, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia. Telecommunication. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit here with the following nominations, pending Senate confirmation where applicable, for appointment in government. National Security Agency, Mr. David W. Ayekpa, Inspector General. 2, Mr. Jared Barcom, Assistant Director for Operations. I would greatly appreciate were these to be given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Barker, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore and distinguished members of the Senate, the reading of the communication of nomination from the President of the Republic of Liberia.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of several communications or nominations from the President of Liberia to various positions in government. What is your will and pleasure? Rivers F1.
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished senators, I move that if I can obtain a second, that the communication from the President of Liberia nominating people to various positions in government, the communication be received and be given to the various committees as regards to the positions nominated for. And then the committee can report later to the Senate.
Whoever restating the motion, are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against?
So the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia and President of the Liberian Senate has now taken his seat to preside. As per law, once the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia is present, he presides. And of course, the pro tem, Senator Yomli Anga Lawrence, have now taken her seat in official capacity as well. There comes Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala.
Presentation of certificate of election and other credentials.
Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala now escorting
for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel
Honorable
G.
Samuel
Koga of Nima
Koga
County.
of Nimba County, of course, and other members of the House of Representatives have also arrived here. Um, the House of Representatives is fully represented at the moment. Have You have the House of Representatives fully represented. Sorry, Representative Samuel Koga, uh, Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala, and the rest of the other lawmakers now moving around and greeting fellow lawmakers. Representative Prince Toes and other lawmakers, Deputy Speaker Fala, and so it's a whole different atmosphere here, folks. The House of Representatives has now escorted the Senator of Niba County elect, Senator Samuel Koga, here in the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. And so this is what the atmosphere is like. This is Spoon TV. Thanks for joining us. We are here live from the main chambers of the House of Representatives. That's the main chambers of the Liberian Senate, where the legislature in its entirety is now meeting and greeting and engaging with other folks here from the Liberian Senate. Thanks for joining us, Spoon TV. We are still here. No, so,
Mr. President
on
of
the
the
flip
Senate,
side, we have Senator Samuel Koga, the senator-elect. We have the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, VP Jeremiah Kwan. We have members of the House of Representatives, Honorable Musa Hassan Bility, who was recently defeated in the speakership election, meeting and greeting senators here. Representing Queenstown of District 8, Monrovia County, representing
all
Neka
members, please take your seat.
and other members of the House of Representatives here meeting and greeting their colleagues. Senator
All the members,
Fry
please take your seat.
in a conversation there with Representative Musa
Let me take your seat by the president.
We have the senator-elect.
All the members, please take your seat. Senator So, Senator Brown,
As they are now setting the stage for the official
Senator
introduction
Dillon. Good morning.
the Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala is now taking his seat as Representative Emmanuel down. And of course, Senator Prince Boy. There's a great atmosphere here.
You know, my president, you don't stay too long with my boy.
As,
You don't stay too long with my boy.
lawmakers from across the different districts and counties of Liberia engaging with their colleagues here. Thanks for joining us, Spoon TV.
Free seats, maybe y'all can take, y'all can sit down.
We want to say thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're still here live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate, where lawmakers from both houses have converged here in show of support for the senator-elect, Senator Samuel Koga.
Business on President's desk. Presentation of certificate of election and other credentials by the Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Koga of Lima County.
I, Samuel Gongwe Koga, Senator-elect of Lima County, do hereby present my certificate of election and other credentials to the Secretary of Senate for onward transmission to the Rules, Order, and Administration in accordance with Rule 1, Section 1 and 2 of the adopted standing rules of the Senate of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
So, Representative Samuel Koga has now presented his certificate given to him by the National Elections Commission. Certificate has now been presented to
of the Senate. I have the honor now to present to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration certificate of elections and other credentials presented to us by Senator-elect Samuel G. Koga of Lima County.
So the certificate will be presented by the chairperson of Rules, Order, and Administration, Senator Blair Brown of Maryland County. Spoon TV, live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. And of course, this is the process leading to the induction of the Senator-elect of Nimba County, Senator Samuel G. Koga. The sitting today is being presided over by the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, VP Jeremiah Bankong, who happens to be the President of the Senate.
So let's get a motion for the floor. Senator Dillon.
Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, having received the credential and certificate of election of Senator-elect Samuel Koga of Lima County, and seeing having been appropriately accordingly presented to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration, I will move that this plenary entertain a 5-minute break to afford the Committee on Rules and Order to review the credentials, invite to plenary for the appropriate action for the induction ceremony.
Did I get a second? It be moved and seconded that the credential presented to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration, the committee be given 5 minutes, after which the committee will come up with a report for this plenary to make a decision. Are you ready to vote? Ready. Those in favor say yeah. Against? 5-minute break.
So there's a 5 minutes break now at this point for members of the Rules, Order, and Administration Committee to uh, uh, make a decision, peruse the certificate as presented. Senator Lebo Brown of Maryland County, Senator Daba Vapla, Senator Boto Kanen, and Senator Jonathan Borchas Singwe are now moving in for a brief engagement, at which time they will peruse a certificate as members of the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration. They will peruse the certificate and revert to plenary, as plenary would then proceed with the induction ceremony. This is Spoon TV. We're coming to you live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. I'm Nelson Collet. Ernest Bena is here as well. Um, and there's a 5 minute break at the moment. And during the 5 minutes break, lawmakers will engage. There will be different interaction as you see on camera. Some representatives in the House of Representatives have come here. They've escorted the senator-elect of Niba County, Senator Samuel G. Koga. And in the chambers of the Liberian Senate at the moment, you have Representative Fode Famulet of Bon County, Representative Musa Hassan Bility of Nimba County, District 7, Representative Nika Gay, and Representative Prince Toll of District 8, Montserrat County. You have Representative Emmanuel Down of District 7, Montserrat County, Sekou Kanen, of course, Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala, and lots of other lawmakers who have come here to witness the induction of their colleague from the lower house. Thanks for joining us, folks. We're still here, um, live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate, as there is now a 5 minutes break for senators and representatives, lawmakers, members of the first branch of government to at this point engage. Um, as the Senate Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration is in a brief conversation to revert to plenary with respect to the certificate presented to them by the senator elect, and after which they're certainly going to come back and continue with the induction of the senator. We didn't get to see this kind of ambience, especially when Senator um, Yandi Twine was elected to replace now Vice President Jeremiah Kwan. We didn't get to see this kind of ambience, probably because he didn't pass through the House of Representatives. But the atmosphere here is different today because folks from the House of Representatives have moved in the main chambers of the Liberian Senate to join hands, escort their colleagues, and witness his induction. A lot of people would not imagine that there will be such an atmosphere. Representative Musa Hassan Bulete, for example, who have been a fierce critic of this administration, um, and supported a candidate in the Niba County senatorial race, is amongst these representatives who are here in the main chambers of the Liberian Senate escorting Representative Samuel Koga. And this is what the atmosphere is like. A few of the lawmakers engaging. The 5 minutes break will soon be over. And once the break is concluded, then we're going to move to the induction of the senator-elect of Niba County, Senator Samuel G. Koga. So, folks, we're still here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. And so this is where we are, folks. So Senator Thomas, Senator Senator A.B. Darius DeLong, Senator and Representative Thomas Fowler cracking some jokes following the defeat that saw Senator Abraham Darius DeLong emerge as winner of the senatorial race in for Monserrate County. So we're still here. The break is gradually ending, and so we are very shortly going to see the Senate Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration coming back to the plenary of the Liberian Senate uh, to give a green light for the induction ceremony. Following the induction, there will be lots of other activities here today. As per the agenda, as per what we see here on the agenda, there will be there's a communication from the President of the Republic of Liberia on nominations in government, and that communication will be addressed business on President's text. You have a committee summary report by each chairperson. Um, that's something that's coming up as well. The presentation of certificate by Senator-elect Honorable Samuel Kogar, as per what's on the agenda here at the Liberian Senate. That portion of the agenda, that agenda item has been exhausted, and you have the induction of the Senator-elect, which is yet to take place. But reports from standing committee on the agenda here. You have report from Senate Standing Committee on Public Works and Rural Development for the period of January to March 31, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across the country. That's something that is going to be looked at. The report from that standing committee will be presented, and that's an item that's yet to be exhausted here as per what's on the agenda for from the Liberian Senate. There was the roll call already. The reading and adaptation of the agenda has been done. Unfinished business, a report from standing committee. So the report on standing committee is yet to take place. There will be AOB and of course adjournment. All of these are going to take place right here in the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. But at the moment, we've we've witnessed the presentation of certificate of election and other credentials from the senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Koga of Niba County. And so what we're waiting for now is the chairman, the chairperson of the committee and his members to come back in session. And once they come back to the plenary of the Liberian Senate, uh, we are going to uh, proceed with this activity here. So thanks for joining us, folks. We're still here live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. This is the first branch of government. The Liberian government or the legislature is being fully represented here, as you have folks from not just the Liberian Senate, but you also have folks from the House of Representatives who escorted their colleague Samuel Koga here. And there's a 5 minutes break, which is thought to be concluding very shortly. And right after the 5 minutes break, we're going to move back to the program. There's going to be the induction out there, like we showed you earlier before coming in here. You have scores of Liberians out there, those in solidarity with the senator, members of different organizations from Niba County who stormed the grounds of the legislature to welcome and to celebrate with the senator elect today, as he's going to be finally inducted. You have Senator Edwin Melvin Snow and the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia engaging there, and of course you have other lawmakers doing same. And this is exactly what happens when the both houses meet, the upper house and the lower house, the House of Representatives and that of the Liberian Senate converging in one space. You will usually see this um, during the presentation of the SONA, the State of the Nation address, when the lower house and the upper house will meet in a single space, and then the president gets to address the nation through them, since they are the direct representatives of the people, giving the state of affairs of the country. But this is an extraordinary event in that this is not a SONA that will bring together members of both houses, but interestingly, this is an induction that is bringing together the two houses, and it is this way because the person being inducted today passed through the corridors of the lower house, and not just being an ordinary member, he has been one of the doyens there at the House of Representatives. He has spearheaded lots of the House of Representatives. The man being inducted today was the frontliner, was one of the frontliners in most of these, political activities we've seen at the lower house. So his transition today from the House of Representatives to the Liberian Senate is a milestone. And so it's not just any other induction, but it's an induction of a permanent member, a key personality from the House of Representatives. It's an induction of someone who is a doyen of the legislature, a doyen at the House of Representatives. His transition today uh, sends a message to even folks here at the Liberian Senate that a trailblazer, a trailblazer, a torchbearer, one of those persons who have led so many revolutions at the House of Representatives, is transitioning to the Liberian Senate today. So the atmosphere is a very great one, as we're seeing folks from both houses converge here today. The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia is presiding over this sitting today, as lawmakers are now seated patiently and eagerly to witness the induction of their colleague. Spoon TV, I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks for joining us in case you just did. Uh, what you're seeing now is that we're coming to you live from the main chambers, the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. The second most powerful man, the second most powerful man at the House of Representatives, Representative Thomas Fala, the Deputy Speaker, is seated there. Um, and of course, this is exactly what the atmosphere is like here today. Thank you very much for joining us, Spoon TV. We are here live from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. I see here Senator Edwin Melvin Snow in the background cracking some jokes that the pro tem will have to hold the senator elect with in a very tender way, treat him very well, because he has a history of removing speakers at the House of Representatives. But the pro tem, in response, has said that this is the bus stop for removers. So we look forward to seeing how that goes. That's just part of the regular jokes here as we sustain the atmosphere to see the actual induction here today. Thanks for joining us, folks. We're still here, posted in the main chambers of the House of of the Liberian Senate, as everyone is gearing up for the induction. Once Senator Koga gets inducted today, that would mean that the Senate is now complete. And just a quick background for those of you who may not know, Senator Samuel Koga was elected, replacing former Nima County Senator and the political godfather of the county, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, or Senator Prince Yelugbe Johnson. The senator um, passed away, and his death created a vacancy at the Liberian Senate. And so instead of having 30 senators to represent the 15 counties of the country, Nima County has been lacking with respect to the total representation that should come from the county. So we've seen one senator from Nima County since, in fact, Senator Prince Johnson was no more. So that vacancy has been here at the Liberian Senate. That created that then prompted another election. The by-election was a tense one, a crucial election in Nima County. But as you all saw, at every step of the way, Senator Samuel Koga, elect now, emerged as winner of the election there in Nima County. So now the question that so many people are asking is whether this replacement is a golden one. We are getting signal now that the committee is coming in. Well, the committee is making its way in now. Senator Daba Vabla, Senator Boto Kanen, Senator Blebo Brown, and Senator Momo Cyrus of Cape Mount, Bapolu, Maryland, and Lofa counties, respectively, have made their way now back in the main chambers of the House of the Liberian Senate. So there is an indication now that activities will be taken up very shortly. There's an indication now that the induction will soon start. We are about to see the induction activity starting officially. So the induction is about to start now because the committee is
Member
seated.
Temi, are we ready?
The chairperson of the committee have told the presiding
Where's the
that
Secretary
everything
of the
is now
Senate?
set for the induction
Business
ceremony.
on President's desk, report from the Senate Standing Committee on Rules, Order and Administration on the certificate of elections and other credentials for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Koga of Nima County.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the Committee on Rules and Administration, we are pleased to submit to the Secretary of the Senate report on the certificate of election and other credentials submitted by Samuel G. Koga, Senator-elect of Nima County. Honorable Secretary.
So the certificate has now been presented.
Mr. President of the Senate and Presiding Officer, Madam President Pro Tempore and distinguished members of the Senate, the report from the Committee on ROA. Committee's affirmation. The Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, having fully and carefully examined the certificate of election presented to plenary by Honorable Samuel G. Koga, the committee hereby confirms that said certificate of election is genuine and bears the authentic signatures of members of the Board of Commissioners of the National Elections Commission. The committee further confirms that the certificate of election bears the proof and affirmation that Honorable Samuel G. Koga is the declared winner of the senatorial by-election held in Nima County on April 22, 2025. Committee's recommendations. The Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, having confirmed the authenticity of the certificate of election and having fulfilled the requirements of Rule 1, Section 1, hereby recommends that Honorable Samuel Gogben Koga be indicted and seated as Senator of Nima in line with Rule 1, Section 2, and Rule 2, Section 1 of the Senate Standing Rules. Done in committee room this 15th day of May 2025. Signed, members of the committee in presence of Senator Dawa M. Papla, member, Senator Boto Kanen, member, Senator Momo T. Saros, member, Senator Jonathan Borchardt Sobit, co-chair, and Senator J. Brebo Brown, chair. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you. So that was the reading of the report from the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. The Honorable President of the Liberian Senate, Presiding Officer, distinguished colleagues, having listened to the report from the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration, receiving and accepting the credential of Senator-elect of Nima County, Dr. Samuel G. Koga, I move if I can obtain a second that the Senate standing rules regarding the circulation of documents 24 hours before adoption be suspended, and the rule be suspended, the report accepted, and the Senate taking necessary action in adopting the second senator of Nima County as a full-fledged member of the Honorable Liberian Senate. If we move and seconded that the Senate rule on 24-hour circulation of documents be suspended for the purpose of inducting the Honorable Samuel Godwin Koga to the Senate today. Are you ready to vote? Those in favor say yea. Yea. Those against? Mr. Secretary,
That's that, right? That's that now.
Mr. Secretary, Senate, you will call Honorable Koga and administer the oath.
Touch your arms. Please proceed as stated.
So the Sergeant at Arms is now proceeding to bring in the Sergeant at Arms is now proceeding to bring in the Senator elect as he will be inducted very shortly. The Senator is already in. So very shortly we will see the Senator get inducted here today. So thanks for joining us.
Say after me, sir. I, do solemnly swear that I will support, uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia, bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic, and will faithfully, conscientiously, impartially discharge the duties and functions of the office of Senator of Nima County to the best of my ability. So help me God. Order.
So there has been a call for the oath to be re-administered by
I, somewhere, Godwin Coker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold,
uphold,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia,
and protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia,
bear true faith and allegiance
bear true faith and allegiance
to the Republic,
to the Republic,
and will faithfully,
and will faithfully,
conscientiously,
conscientiously,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duty
and functions of the office of Senator of Nima County
and discharge the function of Senator of Lima County
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Of the Senate and presiding officer, Madam President Pro Tempore, and distinguished members of the Senate. The senator-elect has been duly inducted.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. With that
So
said, we'll
the-
ask Senator Yan Twine to please receive the senator and take him to his seat.
So the senator will now be received by Senator Yandi Twine as he moves forward to receive the senator. Senator Yan Twine is now going to officially take the senator to his seat as a full-fledged member of the Liberian Senate. Spoon TV. Thanks for joining us. Senator Koga now is being welcomed by his colleagues. He's now a full-fledged member of the Liberian Senate,
Thank you, Senator.
no longer senator
We'll now
elect,
call the pro tem
and
Mr.
that
Secretary.
concludes the induction ceremony as captured on the agenda. The pro tem, Senator Yomli Kangalorus, will make a special statement.
The Vice President and President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues of the Senate and colleagues of the House of Representatives, our guests, family members, chamber staff, members of the Fourth Estate. It is with great pleasure that I, on behalf of the Liberian Senate, welcome Senator Samuel Coker to the House of Senate. Senator Coker, this is the House of Elders. Here, we lead together by respecting the views and opinions of others, regular consultative meetings, and regular reporting by committees, as you are already aware, with a clear and well-defined agenda in the interests of Liberia. We look forward to your smooth transition as we embark on the second session journey in the legislature. We will work with you in the next few days to have you properly positioned on the appropriate committees where your 14 years of legislative experience will be utilized to the benefit of this body. ROA will present all the information needed for your work at the close of today, which will include the Senate rules, the Senate journals for information in your record. Your office will also be assigned with a tour of the Senate, and all the information for you and your staff will be presented. Again, we say congratulations and welcome to the House of Elders. Thank you.
So the pro temp of the Liberian Senate, the pro temp has officially welcomed Senator Samuel Koga. She said that the
We now
lawmaker
call
will
Senator Koga
be
for a
officially
statement.
positioned in the coming days on the respective committees based on the expertise he comes with as a 14-year lawmaker, someone who have served there at the Liberian, at the House of Representatives.
His Excellency Jeremiah Kwankum, Vice President and President of the Liberian Senate. Madam Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate. Distinguished colleagues of the 55th Legislature, citizens of the great county of Nima, member of the Full Estate, fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us stand for a moment of silence for the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, former Senator of Nima. Amen. Please be seated. To God Almighty be all the glory, honor, and praise. It is by His mercy and divine guidance that I stand before you today, not just as a man, but as a servant of the people. My journey has been one of the faith, perseverance, and unwavering dedication. I am forever grateful to the Almighty for allowing me to reach this historic milestone in my public service journey. Let me extend my deepest and most heartfelt gratitude to the resilient and progressive people of Nema County, Electoral District Number 5. In 2011, you believed in me. You entrusted me with responsibility to represent you in the House of Representatives. That decision set a stage for my growth in national leadership. I remain extremely grateful. Your belief in me back then was not misplaced, and your faith today had lifted me ever high. Thank you for your unwavering trust. To my colleagues in this Liberian Senate, I sincerely thank you for the warm welcome. It is a great honor to join this august body, one that plays a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of our nation. I want you to know that my presence here will be nothing short of positive. I am here to contribute constructively, to collaborate honestly, and to represent passionately in the interest of the Republic of Liberia and the people of Nema County. As a proud member of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction MDR, I am fully aware that the task ahead goes beyond party lines. I stand here not just a partisan politician, but as a national leader. I will work with all of you, regardless of political affiliation, because the people of Liberia deserve unity, not division. They deserve progress, not politics as issue. I come to this Senate following the passing of the towering political figure, our former senator and godfather, the late Honorable Prince Yobi Johnson. He was a man whose influence and legacy still echo across our country and the country. The people of Nima, in their overwhelming numbers, voted me to carry the torch he once held hard. I do not take that lightly. To the people of Nima County, I hear you, I see you, I feel your hopes and your expectations. I promise today, with every fiber of my being, that I will never compromise your interests or that of our beloved Liberia for nothing. Nima deserves better, and I will fight to ensure that better becomes reality. I will not let you down. To my colleagues, let us join hands. Let us unite as patriots and not partisans to push the interests of our people. Let us support the president in realizing his development agenda. Liberia is bigger than all of us, and the time to act in her favor is now. As I officially take on this noble responsibility today, I do so with confidence, not in my own strength, but in the strength of our unity, the power of our people, and the grace of God. I am confident that my presence in this Senate will bring great things to Nima County and by extension to our beloved Liberia. May God bless all. May God bless Nima County, and may God bless the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
He comes to the job with passion. He's called for unity, and he's going to contribute.
The protocol after that. So with that, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, I can see that you have escorted your colleague very well. And if you think you want to take a leave, then we can excuse you. If you stay here, then you can sit and enjoy our section. Thank you.
So,
Please do.
so the members of the House of Representatives are now exiting the main chambers of the House of Representatives. Representative Thomas Fala, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, is going to lead the team as they all make their way out of the main chambers of the Liberian Senate, following which no more activities will now continue here from the grounds of the House, from the main chambers of the Liberian Senate. Folks, thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette, and we're coming to you live from the main chambers of the House of the Liberian Senate, and of course, the lawmakers are now making their way out gradually. They are now making their way out after escorting. All right, so the folks are now making their way out. So thanks for joining us, folks. We're still here. They were being escorted by the sergeant at arms from the lower house as well
Senator of the Senate.
as they made their way here
At this time, we'd like to welcome the
in
senator
the main chambers of the
on the
Liberian
platform
Senate.
to have a group photo
Thanks for joining
with
us,
the
folks.
incoming Senator Samuel G. Koga.
He's being congratulated, Senator. Um, so the senator is being welcomed by his colleagues. After the warm welcome, there will then be a the official there will then be the regular activities. But I see the vice president will now leave. He's trying to exit the main chambers, and once that is done, the pro temp of the Liberian Senate, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, will now go back. She'll move in to continue presiding over today's sitting. And so this is where we are. Thanks for joining us. We're still here live from the main chambers of the House of Representatives. Thanks for joining us, folks. So there's still the official welcome, the welcoming and the greetings and the embrace from his colleagues, Senator Blebo Brown, there of Maryland County, engaging with the senator. Moving next is Senator Councilor Jala of Lofa County, greeting and the welcoming Senator Koga and the rest of the other lawmakers, Senator Bosha Segbe. They're welcoming the senator as well. And of course, Senator Thomas Yaya Nimle of Green Jida County is
All right,
there
we'll
sitting next to
proceed
the
with the
senator,
agenda
Senator James
and do the
Emmanuel
group
Nukwe,
photo when the vice president returns.
here engaging with the senator as well. The pro temp has returned to preside since, in fact, the vice president has left the main chambers.
Business on President's text. B, committee summary reports by each chairperson.
Secretary Senate staff on where we stop, and there were senators who were absent, so we need to consider that. You have 5 minutes.
Committee on Lands and Mines.
So there will be the continuation of committee's report, the summary report from the respective committees here at the House of the Liberian Senate. And so Senator Simeon Taylor of Green Cape Ann County
Honorable Pro Temporary State Police of the Liberian Senate, on behalf of the Senate Committee on Lands and Mines, I'm honored to inform you that during our break, we went on a tour, and there are a few things that we saw and we believe as committee members that we need to share with the Liberian people. And our detailed report will be given to you in the space of 1 week for all senators to have copies. As you may be aware, the Ministry of Mines received $4 million under the budgetary allotment, and up to present, from January to the end of April, they have just received $1,538,641. The Ministry of Mines is encountering a lot of problems, more especially when it comes to the issue of getting funding for their own operations. And we've been speaking on that. Every day we complain on the illicit mining that they are not receiving funding on time to implement their job adequately. The ministry right now want to establish offices in the 15 counties in Liberia to help to curtail the illicit mining. They want to employ 100 geologists and mining engineers, where it will help to effect their work adequately. The Ministry of Mines want to review the mining law of 2015 so that the revision will help to increase revenue. There are a lot of illicit mining all over Liberia, and foreigners have taken over the semi-mechanized mining in Liberia. That's why you find the Chinese all over the place. And per our tour, we realized that rural people are actually supporting the foreigners that are taking all over the mines because there is no livelihood for our people. And no senator will be able to stop that. The only solution is to craft a law that will give the semi-mechanized mining to Liberians exclusively, so that those Class B mining will be done by Liberians like what Ghana did. It will help to improve revenue, income, and to strengthen the economic activities in the rural area. During our visit, we visited the Western Belt, the concessions in the Western Belt. We visited the Bauchico, the Western Cluster, Liberia Limited, and the B Mountain. During that visit, we realized that the Western Cluster is eventually closed down, stop all operation, and there is nothing going on. The site is so dominant. So we asked plenary to see also how we can revisit some of the agreements so that they will be able to work effectively, because when the concessions are signed, it is there to help improve our people's lives. The Joint Committee on Transport, the Joint Committee comprises of transport, concession, lands and mines, hydrocarbon, and labor. During our visit, we realized that Bauchico is presently trying to construct a seaport for iron ore export in Roseville. But there are a lot of challenges that they are faced with. And so they decided to use an alternative route by exporting their ore through the free port of Monrovia. But what we did see in Bombing County, in Roseville, Monrovia County, the citizens of Bakulu were complaining as to the social development funds. The company, they are not relating the social development fund to the counties, the affected counties. Since they started. That was one of the complaints we realized. The low employment rate in those concession areas. If you realize, we went to B Mountain, and the people of the county that were complaining. When we passed the NDA, there was $100,000 for each claim that should have been related, or there should be an MOU signed to remit that money to the various plants where the mountain are doing the mining operation. You know, that was plenary decision there to ensure that those people receive that amount. And so they were complaining that the MOU had not been signed. And so we try to work on that while we are presently here at work. The issue that has to do with the chemicals played around, there was no clear information as to how it would stop or mitigate during our tour. And so those are things that the committee will have to work on while we are back to work. And so we would like to recommend that the payment of the $100,000 be made to each of that claim. And we also like to recommend that the TSF should be visited and that they should construct it more better than what it is. The labor issues, there are challenges all over in all the concessions. Except for B Mountain and Meta, all the concessions in Liberia, if not closed, they're very dominant. The Channel Union, slow pace. The Western Cluster, very slow pace. Hutu and whatever mining concession we have in Liberia, they are on a very slow pace of work. The last thing I want to say here is that lands and mines need to be fully funded if we want to benefit from our natural resources. Fully funded. The lack of manpower to regulate the mines, so you find people from different countries coming and taking the natural resources from the country without no monetary system. Lands and mines do not have the full capacity to regulate. Even the export of oil in Liberia, we cannot clearly define and tell you as to how much oil that is leaving Liberia because the monitoring system is very poor. Very poor. Most of the concessions, you don't have lands and mines people there to monitor clearly as to what is leaving the country to give you a clear data. We have done that check, and that's the funding. So we ask plenary Madam Pro Tem to help strengthen us to do more and to empower the regulatory arm responsible to monitor the concessions in Liberia to be fully capacitated in this coming budget. Thank you.
Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment.
And no disturbance, please. Thank you very much, Madam Pro Tem. Mr. Secretary of the Senate, please present to the Pro Tem a copy of my summary. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, first let me start by thanking the Almighty for bringing us back after a well-deserved vacation. We went home, we met our people, we met the citizens, and today we are happy that we are back or our summary will be into twofold. One would be the general political situation, and then a summary of our committee report for the period. I'll be very brief. Madam Pro Tem, again, let me start by thanking you for your leadership. The House, amidst of the Senate, amidst our diversity, our political diversity, maturity and tolerance happens to be the hallmark of the administration and that of our colleagues in the Liberian Senate. The Liberian people look up to us as the House of Elders for the direction of this branch of government. We look forward to your continued support and cooperation as you lead the Liberian Senate. Madam Pro Tem, there are just some housekeeping that we would like for you to please pay attention to during this session. One, the issue of the rule of law. Madam Pro Tem, we still have people suspended from tenure positions, and those matters have not been resolved. Some of them were suspended on allegations of corruption, and that there was investigation and audit that would have been conducted. We are far over 1 year, and our fellow citizens remain suspended without benefits, without anything. And I think the Liberian people are looking at the Senate to address some of those issues in the interest of national healing and our oversight, our robust oversight. We just mentioned but a few. The issue at the LTA continue to linger without any redress to Liberians that have been suspended without benefit, and the audit report have not been addressed yet. The issue at the Governance Commission was flagged by our distinguished colleague from Liberia, Brian. I would just like to re-emphasize. The Governance Commission is the heartbeat of our governance structure, and to have an ad hoc body there after people were suspended and people are acting, I think we need to look at that. We can take the necessary action as a government if we need to be in line with the law and have a proper structure at the Governance Commission. There are other areas, but like I said, I want to be brief, so I wouldn't go all over the place. Madam Pro Tem, we want to take this time, we'll have flagged the issue in the House of Representatives, but we want to take this time to formally add to the Senate and to you, Madam Pro Tem, to congratulate Speaker Richard Kuhn and our colleagues in the House of Representatives for abiding by the opinion of the Supreme Court in declaring, after receiving a letter of resignation from former Speaker Kofa, declaring vacancy and calling for an election. The unity that was exhibited a few minutes ago during the induction of our colleague, Uncle Samuel Koga, speaks to the maturity of our democracy. And we want to commend you, Madam Pro Tem, for your continued leadership that you continue to exhibit. Madam Pro Tem, let us also look at the justice system. We want to look at the issue of the rule of law again, police brutality, and other things that have happened. We want to send it committee on security to look at it and see how best we can address some of those issues. Some of the issues that we have here have been addressed, education sector and other things by our colleagues. So we try not to again be overbearing by going back to all of those things. Before I go to my summary of my committee report, let me just, Senator Barney laid a privilege the other day, the project accepted it, so please allow me to enjoy similar privilege that was enjoyed by a rescue senator. Thank you. Madam Pro Tem, the need for us not to checkmate the press, but to ask for responsible reporting from the media community cannot be overemphasized. We agree that we are all human and we sometimes take our political direction, but I think politicians should not go under the canopy of journalism and try to misrepresent or direct the public on their report. 2 nights ago, I was on the popular Spoon Show, and I said something that I would like to reiterate for the benefit of the Senate and the media landscape. There was this issue maybe about 3 weeks ago on Spoon where I said, yes, where I said I wanted this government, where I said, you're not presiding.
Yesterday we allow all the senators to speak on other issues.
Thank you
For
your fairness.
So he's your protector, Senator Smith.
Where I said, so Chief of Staff, the Speaker speaking.
Your former lawyer.
But on a serious note, Pro Tem, we said, and as opposition, I don't think any opposition would say we are praying for a government to succeed itself. And that statement was misconstrued by some people in the political space, and of course the media landscape, as wanting the country to fail or the government to fail in hardship in the country. That was never my statement. I'm responsible. I want the best for this country, and I want Liberia to prosper. 2 nights ago, I was on the Spoon Network, and the same question came, which I thought was an opportunity to clarify the issue. And I went on to say there was this report where people say, oh, people should die, the country should suffer, and that's not what I said. I wanted Liberia to prosper. A news outlet called DN Liberia doctored my recording, and left the part where I said, this is not what I said, people said this, and posted it yesterday on Facebook as though I'm so irresponsible, and that was a statement that I made. Immediately when I posted that my lawyers would contact them, they did a retraction and apologized. And then they started calling me, other colleagues here called me, people call me in the media landscape, that I should accept the apology. My lawyer is still reviewing the issue. We do not want the media to see politicians are cracking down on the media, but we expect the media to be responsible. We all know you may have your political interest, but if you have a political interest, come as a politician and express a political interest. Don't go under the umbrella of journalism and try to blackmail people. So 2 of the editors from the DN Liberia called me yesterday to apologize. They did a rebuttal, they did an apology, but I want the media. We are responsible people. Say what we said. Don't go and doctor something because you want to satisfy a particular political class. That information went viral. People from the region were calling me, my colleagues were calling me, my family were calling me, and that, Madam Pro Tem, that does not represent me. We have our diversity here. We joke each other, we laugh, we do things, but I don't think anybody, not to say me, will want evil for this country or for this country not to prosper. I want to make that point clear today, and I'm happy the media is covering it. DN Liberia, they called yesterday, they apologized, they did a rebuttal, and I will consult with my lawyer if we should pursue further action or let it be. But I'm asking the press to remain responsible. Take your political side as an individual, but when you use a nomenclature as journalists, be responsible. It was very irresponsible of DN Liberia, and I don't think it's fair to the political and the media landscape of our country. On the briefing of the committee, we want to say thank you for the support that we continue to receive from you and our colleagues in the Senate. The Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment continue to engage line ministries and agencies of which we have oversight. We have enjoyed a fair level of cooperation from the National Oil Company. They've been briefing us on prospects that they are making regarding engagement with the oil sector, the oil and gas sector. We expect more information from them. There are issues that have come to our attention. Discussion with the National Petroleum Company of Nigeria, NNPC, that are ongoing. The committee has not been informed about that yet. We'll follow up on it. We want to also say LEC, we had an informal conversation with the Managing Director of Destiny. The committee will be meeting him today again before that letter is being placed on the floor to conduct the confirmation. So far, it's not there yet, but we think the glass is half full as regards the distribution of electricity around the country. We're not where we should be many years after our civil crisis, but the committee will continue to engage the LEC management for improvement. We also want to thank the Environmental Protection Agency. There was a workshop conducted in Grand Bassa County, and Madam Pro Tem, as usual, our colleagues who attended that workshop spoke of your regular and usual hospitality. We look forward to a continued and renewed relationship with the EPA. EPA means a lot for our country. There are a lot of environmental issues that need to be looked at, and we'll continue to work with the EPA and other line ministries and agencies in the discharge of our duties. Again, Madam Pro Tem, we want to thank you for your oversight. We want to thank our colleagues in the Liberian Senate, especially those of you from the rescue mission. Because many times we come here, we throw jars at you, we joke with you and all of that, and we take it in a democratic space, very mature democratic space. We hope that the Liberian population will learn from the Liberian Senate as regards political maturity. Again, Madam Pro Tem, I want to thank you for this time, and we'll do a formal report to the Liberian Senate on our stewardship of the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment. Again, before I take my seat, let me formally congratulate again my colleague, Senator Samuel Koga, who has served with 2.5 terms in the House of Representatives, who have formally joined us today as a member of the Liberian Senate. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, Senator.
The committee chair on banking and currency.
Before I commence, to prevent any rebuttal, I'm submitting a copy of the committee report to be passed on to Madam Pro Tem for information. I try to close the door. Madam Pro Tem, Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, please accept my heartfelt compliment and felicitation from me as the chairman of this committee to the field legislature. This committee is comprised of 9 strong men and a woman who are well experienced in carrying on the legislative oversight. During the period under review, we were able to make some achievements. But before delving into the report, let me join others by way of information. The European Union has informed the Senate through the Agriculture Committee that you have close to 30,000 to 60,000 Burkinabe in this country, in the southeastern part of Liberia, working under the canopy of agriculture or farming. They brought this to our attention so that we can pay much attention to it, because the deforestation process and the way they are farming, if not checked, it will lead to business risk for our products in the area of cocoa and coffee, except for local countries and other countries that are not involved with deforestation. With respect to the substantive work of the committee has been able to oversee the passage into law of one legislation or one act, which is the Banking Financial Institutions and Holding Competence Act to the legislature, which was submitted last year. That bill has not been passed into law. There are other achievements with the IMF in the banking sector. We also have the central bank was able to launch on March 31st, 2025. The Central Bank of Liberia launched its financial education and literacy program and Pan-African payment system education, which will now help Liberians to go across border without carrying physical cash on them. You just go with your information, and when you get there, it will be available to you to purchase your goods and come back to the country. Also, from the period under review, the Senate Committee on Banking and Currency has played a pivotal role in shaping Liberia's financial landscape through legislative reviews, oversight functions, and strategic planning. The committee has contributed to the country's economic stability and growth through the supervision of the banking sector. During the period under review, we were also able to do confirmation of the bank officials, especially the executive governor and his deputy. We have had hearing for the board members awaiting confirmation, which coincided with our break. So you also have, as stated earlier, we have passed one bill, but that there is a proposed bill in committee room from the Senator of Riverside County, who is also chairman on agriculture. As a due diligence process, we submitted that act to the central bank for its opinion, because eventually they will be the operators when that act takes effect. The CBO has returned its opinion to the committee, which will be shared with the Committee on Banking, with some checkpoints. Also, the Central Bank was able to meet its statutory deadline for February to be able to address the committee of the legislature. During the February 28th hearing, the governor of the central bank updated the banking committee on our chairmanship on the economy and financial sector in keeping with Part 2, Section 4.3 of the amended CBL Act. He noted that the economic activity remains strong. Real GDP growth was projected at 4.8% from 2024, down from projected 5.15. Inflation peaked at 10.2% earlier this year, but eased to 8.2% in November due to stable food prices and a stable exchange rate due. The banking sector is stable, but challenges remain with 3 commercial banks, and non-performing loans ratio is 21.4%. The recent account deficit, which widened to 26.3% of GDP in 2023, is improving thanks to higher gold prices and increased remittances, although gross international reserves have improved to 2.8 months of imports. The largest is 3.3 of imports. In response to recommendation from the General Auditing Commission, GAC, in the CBL compliance audit released last year, the governor announced a new policy to enhance operational efficiency. Effective immediately, according to the executive governor, cash transaction over the counter will be limited to USD 25,000 for designated employees, with individual transaction capped at 5,000. Thank you for your remembering. This policy prevents multiple check cashing over the counter on a same day. Further to that, when you were speaking about how the journalists hurt you, that why journalists will chase you again. That's true. That's not being fair. To draft, submit a new insurance act to take the insurance out of the CBL and make it autonomous. Distinguished colleagues, let me thank you for your attention and the pro tempore for the permission. That is summary of the report of the Committee on Banking and Currency. Copy will be available for members of the committee.
Committee Chair
Thank you,
on
Senator.
the Joint Legislative Modernization. Committee Chair, Joint Legislative Modernization. Begin by welcoming again my colleague from Limba County, the distinguished Senator Samuel Gomben Koga, who will be an additional voice of Limba County on the floor of the Liberian Senate. Welcome, distinguished colleague. The activities of modernization for the period under review I don't know whether Mustafa is here. We have some really gifted, technical staff who are willing to do that to showcase your work. And so we call upon you to make use of the website. It is functional, it is there. We are waiting you to give us information to upload so that we can enrich the content of the website. In relation with the Pro Tem's office, you have received emails. And we're going to be working email accounts of each senator. We'll work with the Pro Tem in this section to have a cutoff point for using your private emails to send in government-related emails. It is not safe for you, it is not safe for the government for us to be sending emails that are not sanctioned by the government of Liberia or the Liberian Senate. So the chair on the Senate Intelligence and Defense, I think by now has taken seeds of all those emails, but we'll be forwarding them to him officially this section in collaboration with the consultant that was hired by the Pro Tem office, and the committee will sit. We'll vet those email addresses, and within the next couple of maybe weeks or months, we can now be able to say, you know, in communicating with senators and other government apparatus, we should be able to use those emails so that we can be on the safe side. We got Starlink in the building. It is both on your floor and in the Senate chamber. You can contact the technicians there if you are not yet logged in, so that they can log in your mobile devices and other devices that you have, and to also, connect your office, so that as soon as you move in your office, it gets connected. When you hear, it gets connected. We are paying a hefty amount for that service, and we require you people to please utilize it, because it's a flat rate. Whether we use it or not, by the end of the month, we'll have to pay, and it's a very good system. But the problem we are having now, Madam Pro Tem, is that even after working hours, we are still seeing the system fully loaded. So we are about to do an audit to see how best we can do password reconfiguration. Just a few people that have gotten password, we want you to submit a list of people that will have access to the system. If we have the entire Capitol grounds making use of the system, then it will slow it down. So we did a dry run overnight, around about 8, 9 o'clock, when we knew that maybe only security people were going to be here. And we saw 144 people still on the system. So that is yeah, so that is something that we'll have to look at. And we're going to sit with them probably tomorrow or early next week on Monday to see how we can reconfigure the password. And then we can solve that problem that is persisting. We are not able yet to do public hearings because, Madam Pro Tem, let me say here, we are in the Senate chamber, so I can say the Internal Budget Committee, we have placed some money in the budget for both reform and the public hearing on the new capital, but to our utmost surprise, it came up short. And as a member of the Ways and Means Committee, that comes as a surprise to me. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so it's something that we'll not be able to do this year unless maybe we find some resources from our partners, because we needed to have some public hearings concerning the new capital and other reform issues. Basically, that we are working along with a host of international organizations. They are willing to help us to do a lot of reform works. And we'll be writing you people officially to let you people know the time and date they want to have these meetings with us. We lost one of those meetings in recent time when I posted that they needed a study tour of senators to go to the parliament in Sierra Leone. And for 5 days, I didn't receive any response from any senator who wanted to be on our tour, and then we'll have to cancel. And so if they are coming in to help us with logistics and resources, I think they want some commitment beginning with, some, policy learning tour in the region as well. Not because it was Sierra Leone, I guess if it were other countries, maybe they were going to be. Okay, on other issues, Madam Pro Tem, we want, about a few months ago, Senator Johnson and I stood here, we reiterated something about MITA. I just want to give, to let you know that the NIMA Legislative Caucus is adopting a stance on the upcoming renewal of the AML agreement. It will interest you, Madam Pro Tem and distinguished colleagues, that up to now, the government negotiating team has not even contacted a single member of the caucus. A single member. And we all know how concession works. When the concession agreements are sent here, and I'm saying it so that the public can know, we either agree or we disagree. We cannot amend, we cannot even cross a T or dot an R. And so when we are not involved in the making of it, it becomes very difficult. When you call the ministries concerned and the investment commission, they will tell you the president of Liberia will send it to you people. And we think that instead of us bickering over agreements here, they should be able to at least give us the courtesy. The 3 counties, Nimba, Bong, and Basso, specifically we from Nimba, we are in the most affected areas. And if we are involved with some of these things, at least we'll be able to give our contribution. And we are not just talking politics, we're talking resource people who are resourceful to bring some, good content to the agreement that, will make it to land smoothly, and they are not doing it. And so we are adapting the position, Madam President, distinguished colleague, that we will do that, and we'll be on record for that. We know we could be outnumbered, but this is a very serious issue. We agree, because there are issues that are left at the whims and caprice of the concessionaires to do or not to do based on social corporate responsibility. I mean, I think those are issues that are supposed to be part of our agenda item within the MDA for forceful and compulsory implementation. And so we are appealing to this body through you, Madam Pro Tem, for our Senate colleagues to please stand with us on this matter. And the resources that MITA is taking away from this country is for every one of us. And if they have 4 or whatever more years left, and I can always say it, let's just say thank you very much. The agreement is over, you can go and leave our minds. And then we can find another person to do it the way we want it. Instead of us even being the one trying to, renegotiate. And MITA is not forced to be here. AMA is not forced to be here. There will be other mining companies. There's a story, finally, that, one of their CEOs, looked the president in the eye and said, 15 years of investment, and we are not getting profit from the mines in Liberia. And the president asked him a simple question at the end of the meeting. Then why are you staying in Liberia all these years if you are not making profit? The same thing people used to say. I was born in the country knowing that rubber can make money. But we still got people here tapping our rubber. These are strategies they use, to weaken our position when it comes to negotiation. So we ask the Senate to please stand with us that the Interministerial Committee on this negotiation please deal with the 3 counties. Let us document some of these things as compliant issue in the MDA instead of leaving it with social corporate responsibility, whereby if they want to, do it. If they don't want to, that biggest excuse I always been, this year, this quarter will drop, the international market is plunging, so we can't make it. And that's what they always do. There have not been anything on a social corporate responsibility that these people have really done. For example, the hospital, in Sekimpa, they were supposed to build that hospital. They are claiming that they have spent $2.5 million on that hospital. I am going to send journalists there to take the picture of the $2.5 million they have spent in collaboration with Lace. People will come to tears if they see a $2.5 million structure. So those are some of the things we want to correct, Madam Pro Tem. Thank you for the time. The Modernization Committee is healthy, and we are willing to work in collaboration with your office. Thank you for lending us all of the time. I think we almost depleted your budget on technological advancement. So thank you so much for always lending us. One day we'll pay you back. Thank you, distinguished colleagues.
And here with Mr. Finance. All right, before the next speaker, I just want to say that at the Buchanan retreat, one of the agenda items was to talk about the management of our natural resources for the benefit of the counties and the country. Since we got back, the Committee on Concession has been working very hard to present a proposal, and that's why they won the Pro Tem's award for this session. That proposal is ready. We are waiting for Senator Batikwa to be here. We have a consultative meeting that might or should lead to another retreat as soon as possible before those reviews come before us, so we can make some real decisions about the management of our resources. So we take note and we'll make sure that it's might have a retreat as soon as possible.
Committee Chair on Public Corporations.
Oh, okay.
Gary, you?
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished members of the Honorable Liberian Senate, the committee failed to meet up with the assessment as made in the previous budget by the legislature. They were given quota to contribute to the national revenue envelope, and they failed to do so, thereby resulting in a revenue shortfall. Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate. So we took key note of that, and also besides, it was established that public corporations were not remitting withholding taxes to the consolidated fund account. It was also established that public corporations were not willing to contribute to the national budget process or the national revenue envelope as the legislature was requesting them to do so. On account of all of that, we thought to review their budget, their spending priorities, their revenue envelope. We had several meetings, and in the end, we requested key documents from the public corporations on our website to include their initial budget, their work plan, performance report, comparing that to what was initially targeted at the beginning of the period. And that reporting period was for January to March 31st. We served all of them letters. While we were on break, they were to submit those reports for our review, and then subsequent discussion with them, and whatever outcome obtained, we going to effectively brief the plenary or leadership. We intend to ensure that these institutions are managed in a way that they contribute to the overall government revenue generation of the country, so that this legislature can have a bigger revenue space to contribute to some of the development priorities that we are confronted with during the time of budgeting. So as I indicated, we will keep engaged with them, and subsequently we will make report to this plenary or to leadership. The other issue we took keen interest in has to do with the petroleum sector. We realized that every month, after a period of time, there's a price circular issue indicating the different petroleum, the prices for the different petroleum products. If you review that pricing structure, you will see almost 18 or 19 different elements that sum up to the bulk figure that is announced. The way and manner in which some of the charges are derived, we have reservation in terms of the authority, because as I say, if you look at the pricing structure, some of the charges are as a result of legislation, either by this legislature or by other laws legislated. So we have serious reservation because it carries the weight of a tax, and the way the decisions are made by one or two persons in the cycle of the executive branch of government, and it's passed down through announcements, and then all of us, the entire country,
we have to bear that burden. We think it's important for us to review and to be more transparent when it comes to deriving petroleum prices. So those are the two key issues that we were looking at, we are still looking at, because it takes a lot of time. We had meetings with the Importers Association, with LPRC and other actors, experts in the sector. Sometimes it's difficult. We still have a list of other stakeholders and institutions that we have to talk to. But sometimes on the basis of schedule variance, and sometimes some individuals travel, so it made it difficult for us to conclude the exercise. Once we are back, we resume our activities and ensure that we bring the process to finality and subsequently make our report. Thank you.
Committee Chair on Public Accounts and Audit.
I didn't hear him. Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Liberian Senate, distinguished colleagues. I'm pleased to provide this update on behalf of my distinguished committee members of the Public Accounts Committee on our activities and initiatives to strengthen transparency, accountability, and citizen engagement in public financial management. But first, I want to sincerely thank the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate for her support to the committee, and all my colleagues for the trust they have put in me to chair the committee. I appreciate your invaluable contribution. The institutional knowledge that you bring to the discussion has kept our work honest and complying with our constitutional oversight responsibilities. During the period under review, we had a conference with all of our integrity institutions that include the General Auditing Commission, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the Financial Intelligence Agency, among others. I'm pleased to report that the committee, after receiving their presentations on their activities and budget execution, is pleased to report to this body that our integrity institutions are on the right path of doing their job consistent with our laws. The PAC, during the period under review, also received the consolidated report from the Secretariat of the Joint Public Account Committee on 12 audit reports the GAC completed and published for various institutions during the regime of the Coalition for Democratic Change government. These hearings thoroughly examined audit reports, reviewed critical findings, and set the stage for robust public financial management reform. The PAC during this period has reviewed the report, made recommendations for the retreat that will be held to validate the report,
A meeting is scheduled next week to accomplish that task before we go to the retreat, after which the final report will be presented to this body for onward endorsement or amendments before submitting it to the President for action. During the period under review, the PAC also worked with the Ministry of Finance to understand the consolidated account balances as they finalize the report for submission to the committee for review. I'm in touch with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and as soon as they provide a report, we'll make copies available to the committee members. The General Auditing Commission has submitted during the period under review 17 new audit reports to the PAC. The committee is meeting, has reviewed the report, and is meeting next week to agree on the roadmap for public hearings as we allow our colleagues in the lower house, after they've settled their disputes, to get organized before we can do the joint hearing. During the period under review, we participated in the launching of the governance support program called the GREAT Program by the World Bank through the Ministry of Finance. A program that we actively participated in along with the Ministry of Finance to mobilize resources for the work of the Joint Secretariat of the PAC that will include improving public hearing, including the translation or the transcription equipment so that consolidated reports are written faster and made available to the committee for endorsement. Finally, the committee also reached a framework understanding with the GSM companies in Liberia to help disseminate future public hearings to rural Liberia, when we hold such hearings. So, Mr. Presiding, that is the brief summary of our work. Again, I would like to join others to welcome our distinguished colleague from Nimba County, Samuel Koga, to the Honorable Liberian Senate. And I want to join Senator Snow about this media thing. Some media reported yesterday that I am calling for the resignation of President Boakai. And if he does not resign, I will not contest for my Senate seat in 2029. Let me make it clear. I did not say that. I did not hold any press conference or discussion with any media. I was in the Buffalo Forest for the past 14 days, working with my constituents on issues there. I just came to Monrovia last night. I was elected to this body in 2023. The next time I will go back to my people to re-elect me is 2033, not 2029. So I couldn't have made that statement. Thank you.
I heard it's something here.
The President of the Senate, thank you very much. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues. The President of the Senate, what are you working on? Oh. The President of the Senate, we are pleased to inform this body that the Liberian delegation of the ECOWAS Parliament remain committed to the democratic tenets of our country. And And we want to take this time to thank the leadership of the country for its full participation in ECOWAS activities. We want to inform you that Liberia to date, on a month-to-month basis, is current with the payment of ECOWAS levy. There were arrears from the past, and Liberia, you're trying now. And Liberia has signed an MOU with ECOWAS to pay against the arrears that are accumulated from the past. But to date, Liberia is current, and we want to thank the Liberian government for rescuing Liberia ECOWAS. May Senator, thank you. We also want to inform you that 2 weeks ago, thanks to Chairman Darius DeLong and the Foreign Committee that followed up with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, ECOWAS sent a delegation here 2 weeks ago to work with Liberia in the possibility of hosting an ECOWAS institution in Liberia. Those positions are heavily contested. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau has put in a very impressive bid. But there are more than one institution. So Liberia's biggest argument at this point is that Liberia is the only ECOWAS member state that is now hosting an ECOWAS institution. And we are going to continue to make that case, and we'll make the case at the upcoming ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament. We are also pleased to inform you that on yesterday, we formally communicated with the leadership of the ECOWAS Parliament that the impasse in the House of Representatives have been resolved, and that the House have elected Mr. Richard Kuhn, Honorable Richard Kuhn, as Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Parliament will be doing a formal letter of congratulations to him, and the Speaker has informed me that in the month of June, that they will organize a team to have a delocalized meeting here under the leadership of both the Pro Tem and the Speaker in buttressing the progress made in our efforts. Lastly, Mr. President of the Senate and distinguished colleagues, as you know, Liberia is the sole candidate for the United Nations seat of ECOWAS. ECOWAS have endorsed Liberia's candidacy, and Liberia has the full support of ECOWAS. No individual person or member can take away, because ECOWAS will be voting as a bloc, and Liberia enjoys that bloc vote from ECOWAS. And ECOWAS want to wish Liberia well. We all want to join the Foreign Ministry and our colleagues in the entire government who has pushed that bid forward. And we hope that Liberia in the next few weeks will be elected to occupy the seat at the United Nations Security Council. Again, Mr. President of the Senate, we want to thank you. We'll be departing the country later in this weekend or early next week for the first ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament, and we shall inform the Parliament in person of the progress that has been made in the legislature. And we want to thank the leadership of the Liberian Senate for the role that we play in ensuring that the crisis or the impasse was resolved. And we recognize fully the leadership of Speaker Richard Nangwe Kuhn as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
But we are putting on Monday. For the white report, we are putting on Monday. We are putting on Tuesday. Yeah.
Report from Standing Committee. Report from the Senate Standing Committee on Public Works and Rural Development for the period January 1 to March 31, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across Liberia. The Liberian Senate. Report of the Senate Committee on Public Works for the period January 1 to March 31, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across Liberia, submitted to the plenary of the Liberian Senate May 13, 2025 and distributed to all offices of senators. Background. In March 2025, in March, yes,
Is that a preliminary document? No. Well, it is.
No. In March 2025, the Committee on Public Works requested the following information from the Minister of Public Works and Rural Development in order to prepare its report to plenary for the first quarter of 2025, namely 1. Total length of paved and unpaved roads. 2. List of GOL and donor-funded ongoing and new road projects. 3. List of planned road projects. 4. The status of Chinese overpass, Bali Island, and other related infrastructure projects. 5. Planned road concession projects and honored negotiation. 5 and 6. Deteriorating infrastructure in central Monrovia. And 7. Information on any other roads and bridges infrastructure projects. The minister submitted the requested information by the middle of March. An update was subsequently requested by the committee at the end of April, which was also supplied by the ministry, especially as the end of the dry season was approaching. The committee also had discussions with the management of the National Road Fund on its work. A summary of that discussion is also presented in this report. 1.0. Update on current road works. A summary of ongoing, new and planned roads and bridges work, submitted by the Minister of Public Works, is presented in an annex to this report. We request our colleagues to go through the attached matrix A for verification purpose. 2.0. Discussions and findings. The total length of roads across the country, urban and non-urban, is approximately 13,000 kilometers. Of this number, total length of paved roads as of the end of December 2024 is 1,212 kilometers. The total length of unpaved road is approximately 11,788 kilometers. Using an average conservative figure of US $600,000 to US $750,000 per kilometer for asphalt pavement, it will require a minimum approximately US $7 billion to pave the above road length with asphalt or concrete. While some progress has been made over the years since the end of the civil crisis by successive governments, road infrastructure development still presents a significant challenge across the country. Movement on unpaved laterite roads during the rainy season still remain problematic for most parts of the country, especially on secondary and farm-to-market roads. Log bridges on most of our internal county roads also present hindrance to vehicular movement. Some of the road contractors hired by the Ministry of Public Works are not up to the task. An example is a contractor hired to maintain the lateral road corridor from Playboard in Maryland County to Barkerville in Grand Crew County. We believe they have other performing contractors on other road corridors. The government's planned road equipment, yellow machines, purchased for all counties will help to maintain secondary and farm-to-market roads. We have been informed by the management of the National Road Fund that it is embarking on a nationwide assessment of major road corridors to ascertain performance of contractors to which they make payments. This is a welcoming initiative as it will complement the evaluation duties of the Ministry of Public Works to justify payments to road contractors for works. The National Road Fund is also planning some reforms to improve road governance and increase the road fund envelope. This includes plans to review the National Road Fund Act. 3.0 recommendations. There should be improved governance in the management of the National Road Fund so that funds earmarked for the fund should go directly to an escrow account from collecting sources instead of passing through the GOL Consolidated Fund account at the Central Bank of Liberia. 2. The Ministry of Public Works should continuously evaluate the work of its hired road contractors and terminate non-performing contracts. 3. Besides the National Road Fund collection, government, that is the executive and legislature, should make significant annual budgetary appropriations for the pavement of roads across the country. 4. Funds have been placed in the 2025 national budget for road equipment. The executive should therefore hasten the procurement process for the yellow machines for the counties. And 5, government should institute a huge external and domestic borrowing program to pave a significant portion of the approximately 12,000 kilometers of lateral roads across the country. Done in committee room this 12th date of May 18, 2025. Signed, members of the committee in person of Senator Francis S. Dopo II, member. Senator James P. Barney, member. Senator Momo T. Saros, member. Senator Bodo Kane, member. Senator Simeon Boydman Taylor, member. Senator Nathaniel F. Michael, member. Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow, vice chair, and Senator Albert T. Chair. Attached, Annex 1, of the information requested for the first quarter of 2025, submitted by the Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development. Mr. President of the Senate, honorable members of this esteemed body, the reading of the report of the Senate Committee on Public Works with annex attached from the Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development has been submitted to all members of the Senate as per our return.
President of the Senate and distinguished colleagues, I would suggest that with this very important information that all of the senators review the report properly, and then on Tuesday we can have the debate.
That's a suggestion from the program. Okay.
Because the annex is so important from public works, it talks about road work
right in all the counties. So it's important that our police go through it to see the status, what we're saying, whether that's a reality on the ground. So it's important that people carry women.
Okay. Could I get a motion from Senator Brown? Put in the motion.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we have just listened to the reading of a report from the Committee on Public Works. By this motion, we want to thank that, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee, and based on the pro tem suggestion and the fact that this sector is very critical, we want to move that this report, debate on this report, be deferred to next Tuesday, that is placed on the agenda, so that plenary can adequately discuss it. So move.
It be moved and seconded that the report be placed on the agenda for next Tuesday for debate. Are you ready to vote? Ready. Those in favor say yea. Those against? ALB. Senator Dillon, got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues. I just wanted to make a request on plenary authority to someone here, the Minister of Labor, to bring us the work permit and the category contained therein. Without having to repeat myself, this is critical and important. When he comes, so we know why he gave certain categories of jobs to non-Liberians, jobs that Liberians are qualified for and available to do. It's gone to 6 months, Mr. Vice President, Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues. They're going to 6 months. Mr. President of the Senate, we will not pass concession. The concessions are to provide 500 jobs, 1,000 jobs, and then we get 300, 500 of the jobs for work permit. In fact, we have not provided jobs for our people. The Minister of Labor should be made to appear here to tell us why drivers driving heavy-duty machine at some of these concession areas are making $600 when non-Liberians driving and operating the same heavy-duty machine, working on the same work time, are taking $6,000 and $3,000 US dollars. Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, the legislature, we passed a vehicle and traffic law. We are not the ones who should enforce the law. But when there's traffic, in vehicular traffic, the people have the tendency to ask, what is lawmaker is doing? We can go direct traffic. All I'm trying to relate here is, when our people say we care for ourselves, we are creating the avenue to provide jobs, private sector jobs to our people. The legislature has deliberately acted. When we pass concessions, when we create the environment, then in a decent work law, we say the labor minister must not give certain category of jobs. If we sit down here and the executive, through the labor ministry, getting all those very jobs, who can blame our people? So, Mr. President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues, let's see a logical conclusion to this matter because there are almost 9,000 work permits out. Imagine if you gave one Liberian who is making $2,000 a month from one of those work permits. That Liberian will pay taxes. It will cover that $1,000 that is charged for work permit for the whole year. When you enter some of these stores and some of these business places, they get accountants, non-Liberians. Drivers, non-Liberians. Managers, non-Liberians. Almost 9,000 work permit. Give 5,000 of that work permit or job to Liberians, qualified Liberians, who will be taking $2,000 to $3,000 every month. See what happens to the economy too. I rest my case. I'm asking plenary to take that decision. Let some of this minister, let him come with all the regulatory people so we can handle this matter to bring some job relief to our people. I submit.
Thank you, Senator Dillon. Just to give you some information on that, the president has written the Minister of Labor on similar issues he just spoke about. And so the president has given some serious instruction, but the Senate can still call him and maybe he will come and explain. Madam Pro Tem.
So I think has done a lot of work on that, and a report was presented, and the final stage was to have the Minister of Labor here for that hearing. So I would suggest that the Secretary of the Senate inform the Minister of Labor again. I think that will be the fourth communication to appear here on next week Tuesday, if it meets the approval of the body, for us to conclude on that matter. Yeah. I think some of the information from coordination were able to inform the president about the Senate's concern with this. So I think that's why he has.
Yeah, that's why I think he will.
Yeah, but we want to conclude on this matter, so make sure it's documented and our recommendations are sent to the executive.
Can we get that in a motion? Senator Eddie Snow.
Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleague, President, having listened to Senator Darius Dillon of Monrovia County expressing the concern about creating jobs for our citizens, and after repeated invitation sent to the Minister of Labor to report to the Senate on this matter, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the Minister of Labor be cited on Tuesday, be the committee of the whole plenary, to give us a full detail on work permit categories and nationality issued by the Ministry of Labor to non-Liberians within our employed sector.
It's been moved and seconded that the Minister of Labor be made to appear before this plenary that will constitute itself into a whole committee on Tuesday. Are you ready to vote? Yeah. Those in favor say yeah. Yeah. Those against? Any other AOB? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Well, folks, again, we want to say thanks a lot for watching Spoon TV. This is how we come to the end of today's broadcast. Of course, we've been bringing you live coverage of the happenings here in the chambers of the Liberian Senate. And of course, thanks a lot for watching Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. Bye bye for now.